Stop laughing at me! Oh, this is the second worst day of my life!
I'm sorry! This is exactly what I was trying to prevent!
We've all seen Fairly Oddparents on Nickelodeon, and for most of us, this show was a big part of our childhood. One of my favorite cartoons growing up. But what if I told you guys that the show isn't what it seems? I dare you to watch it as an adult because a lot of the controversial and mature themes from Fairly Oddparents, it will shock you to your core. Luckily for you, you know what? I've taken the top 10 scary Fairly Oddparents theories and compiled them into a list for your enjoyment. But just to warn you guys though, your childhood and the way that you see Timmy will be forever changed if you watch this video, so proceed with caution. Well, how's it going YouTube? I'm your host Landon Do Not Sing, and I finally got my championship shirt, the Kawhi shirt, MVP shirt, and he's traded now. So it came pretty late, and I should erase the Toronto. Where does it say Toronto? And put Clippers? Kind of screwed up on that one. So if you guys are enjoying all of our videos, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. We're closing in to 6 million subscribers here. We want you guys to become a part of the most amazing family here on YouTube. And of course, leave your guys' suggestions for videos, because what do you guys want to see? We'll read the comments, we'll take your choices, and we'll make videos. So let's get into today's video. This is the top 10 scary Fairly Oddparents theories. Cosmo and Wanda are actually antidepressants, and this dark theory starts off pretty strong in at number 10. Yeah, I went there. I told you guys that your childhood would no longer be safe. As it turns out, his Fairly Oddparents are just a metaphor or a code word for antidepressants. And when you stop to think about it, this dark theory makes a lot of sense. There's merit to it. Let's review all the facts, shall we? Timmy has neglectful and dismissive parents who don't really care what he is doing. Then he also has a sadistic child abuser babysitter that likes to torture him on a daily basis. It's pretty clear to me why Timmy would be prescribed antidepressants. He must have gotten them from the school nurse or something, because there's no way his parents would ever pay for his prescriptions. And take a look at this fact. Fairies only exist as long as the child needs them. So he must be popping these pills like crazy. And sometimes he gets negative side effects when he abuses his magic. So it sounds like a lot of drug abuse to me. It sucks, it's unfortunate because he's so young. So yeah, basically Wanda is Prozac and Cosmo, well, he's Zoloft. And they're helping Timmy cope with his sad, depressing life. Holy crap, just got dark. Mr. Crocker is a pedophile, and this extremely eye-opening theory takes us to number 9. I couldn't believe my eyes when I was reading these theories. I was just like, no way. Well, let me introduce you guys to Mr. Crocker.
Mr. Crocker, what are you gonna do to me?
I don't know, Turner. You're not smart enough to baffle with a rhetorical question, and your teeth are not bad enough for a magnet. Ah, I got it!
Okay, aside from being a complete bully and a pretty terrifying teacher, his eyes are on his neck. What the heck is that about? Anyways, according to this theory, Mr. Crocker has actually been abusing Timmy for years, and that's why he came up with the delusion that Mr. Crocker wants to steal his fairies. It's actually a sad metaphor for stealing Timmy's innocence and youth. I guess teachers abusing students is just a sad part of our reality. As it turns out, this kind of stuff happens in cartoons as well. I mean, is anyone feeling completely empty inside? This theory is so bleak, it makes me want to curl into a ball and cry for Timmy. I'm actually pretty scared, so you know what, it's time to move on. Let's see what else we have on this list. Now at number 8, Timmy's parents know that Cosmo and Wanda exist, but they choose to act dumb so they don't have to take care of their son. Okay, wait. What? Can someone please call the cartoon version of Child Protective Service? Get on the phone right now. We need to report this because Timmy is being abused. Timmy's parents need to be stopped. I guess it kind of makes sense though. I mean, think about it. His parents treat him like dirt and they use all of their money on themselves. They don't care what Timmy is doing and they don't even want to take care of him. But they know one big secret. They actually know that he has fairy godparents that keep him company and grant him wishes. They want Cosmo and Wanda to stick around so that they can keep neglecting him and so they don't have to spend as much money on him. And that's also why they hired a babysitter from hell. They want to keep Timmy miserable because if he had a happy childhood, he would lose his fairies. And they don't want that. I mean, what kind of messed up world is this? His parents are going to torment him for the rest of his life so that the fairies won't leave his side. They're probably hoping that one day they'll be able to steal the fairies and make them grant their every wish. Timmy's fairies never actually existed. I mean, what's going on? Well, this brings us to number 7. Yeah, that's right. Our favorite fairies never existed. Is this real life right now? Okay, I know this is just a cartoon, but what if we travel to the fictional cartoon land where the Fairly Oddparents live? We would find out that they don't actually exist. I get that this is a pretty bold statement, and I bet a lot of you guys are screaming at me through your screens, but I have a bunch of evidence to support this. You guys thought I was just gonna drop this on you and not support it? Well, first of all, fairies can't be seen or acknowledged by adults or kids that don't have fairies. They can't be seen because there's nothing to see. These poor kids are just imagining that they are real as a way to escape from their miserable and depressing lives. If they told their parents that they have fairies and they follow them and grant them wishes, their parents are gonna take them straight to therapy, where they'll probably be prescribed all sorts of drugs, or they'll have their kids committed to a psych ward for monitoring. Let's jump ahead to number 6, with Timmy is actually dead. Okay, no! Timmy is way too young to die. He had so much more to do in his life. I mean, it's just not fair. According to this extremely dark and life-ruining theory, Timmy actually died in a car accident because his parents decided that it would be a good idea to drink and drive. This is why you should not drink and drive, shouldn't smoke and drive. This sounds possible considering that his parents literally don't care about Timmy at all, so it makes sense that they would put his life in danger. Anyways, now Timmy is a spirit and he still has a bunch of unfinished business to do, so he is aimlessly roaming the earth. It's kind of like that movie Ghost. At first he doesn't know that he is dead, so he tries to go on with his life, but then he learns that he's invisible and no one can see him or hear him. So now he is imagining he has the help of 2 fairies that make his dreams come true. I mean, poor Timmy, he's had nothing but a tough life, a real tough childhood, and now even when he's dead, well, his parents still hate him and he still feels alone. I mean, he's a dead boy who still needs fairies. Earth is controlled and ruled by fairies, and this crazy theory takes us to number 5. Maybe these fairies live in Area 51. Well, what if I told you guys that these fairies are actually evil and their main goal in life is to control and rule all of humanity and to escape from Area 51? I think you would say that I was crazy. I get that a lot. But hear me out. Have you ever noticed a similarity between all of the adults on the show? They're all pretty much neglectful, they aren't really aware of their surroundings, and there's all kind of dum-dumness. Well, what could be the cause for all this? Fairies using memory wiping powers. Well, that's the cause of this. I figured it out, guys. So it's kind of similar to Men in Black.
From this day forth, you will forget you ever had a fairy. Everyone in town will forget all the wonderful, amazing things you have done for them by using your fairies. And no magic on Earth can ever change it.
They use a device on a child when they get too old or when the fairies are exposed to adults. The device is used on them or any other adults that have seen or heard the fairies. That's why when children get older, they lose their fairies. So basically the fairies are causing all of the adults to act like terrible human beings so that all of the kids are miserable. When the kids are sad, fairies are born and they have the power to populate more fairies. So in short, these fairies are using children to multiply so that they can control and take over the human race, and they need to be stopped. So for you guys storming Area 51, in which I tell you guys to not do it, it's gonna be dangerous, but for you guys who see 2 fairies, we know who they are. It's Cosmo and Wanda. Say hello from me. Tell them Landon says hello. And at number 4, Cosmo and Wanda are Timmy's real parents. A Reddit user believes that Timmy is actually a changeling. For those of you guys who don't know what a changeling is believed to be a fairy child that was left in place of a human child that was stolen by fairies. So let's rewind here a bit. Timmy's human parents were actually expecting to have a baby girl.
Honey, this house is finally ours!
It's the perfect home for a young couple who can't wait for the birth of their new daughter.
Yeah!
Well, they did have a baby girl, but they didn't know it because the child was swapped by Cosmo and Wanda's biological offspring. You guys have to admit it, Timmy looks more like them than he does his parents. But Timmy isn't the only changeling. All kids with godparents are changelings, and the fairies are using them to do all of their evil tasks. Timmy actually had a twin sister and was taken away from her family, and this brings us to number 3. Okay, do you guys remember how I said that Timmy's parents were expecting to have a daughter, right? Well, as it turns out, they were actually expecting twins. I mean, whoa, this is a curveball in this one, but they never followed up with any prenatal care, so they have no idea that there was actually a second baby in there. But once Timmy's mom gave birth, she realized that she wouldn't be able to afford or take care of, 2 kids, and honestly, she didn't really want to try. So after she left the hospital, she sold her daughter on the black market, and she told everyone else that her daughter was kidnapped. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but what the heck happened during my childhood? What was I watching as a kid? Why was I allowed to watch that? Fairly Oddparents should have been banned. It should have been banned along with South Park and, well, my wife was banned from The Simpsons. I don't understand that one. Simpsons weren't bad. Number 2, Timmy is actually in purgatory. According to a Roman Catholic belief, purgatory is a place or state of suffering where people who have committed sins, they have to make peace with them before going into heaven. So with that in mind, this theory states that Timmy actually fell into a coma and his parents decided to pull the plug because they didn't want to take care of him anymore. So now that Timmy is dead, he has fairy godparents acting as his spiritual guides who are helping him to get past his sins so that he can go to heaven. This is such a messed up theory. Why does all the bad stuff have to happen to Timmy? What did Timmy ever do? I'm pretty sure he doesn't deserve to be stuck in purgatory. If you guys agree, put hashtag in the comment section below. Hashtag save Timmy. Timmy is being abused by his parents, and this awful theory tops our list at number 1. Alright, let's dive right into this depressing theory. Apparently the Fairly Oddparents are Timmy's dead grandparents. So now this theory talks about they're not his parents, they were actually the grandparents. Well, after they died, Timmy imagined that they became his Fairly Oddparents, and they're the only ones that love him and take care of him because his parents physically and mentally abuse him. Did you guys ever notice in one episode, you can hear Timmy's father yelling, "It's time for your morning beating"? Timmy screamed and tried to hide, but his dad grabbed him, and the scene fades away to a black screen, and you can still hear him screaming. But the next scene showed Timmy with black eyes and a lot of cuts on his head, and I'm telling you guys the truth here, it actually happened. I tried to find the clip on YouTube, but maybe this episode is buried deep because Nickelodeon doesn't want us to remember the scene, but I remember it so clearly as a kid. Like I said, this was one of my favorite cartoons, and I knew about that scene, but I never knew about these other things on this list. I mean, damn. Well, there you guys have it. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget in the comment section below, put your suggestions down there so we can read that and we can make videos that you guys want, because this channel, these videos are for you guys. So thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video.